I have here is some recycling containers that I've decided to turn into possibly a tabletop or desktop fountain with some imagination and a little bit of craftiness. I didn't know what I was going to use with all the 3 different ones, but then I thought you could have almost like a, because they're all different heights, to have like a water, yeah, like a tier effect. So I wanted to use the handle still to be able to move it, so I might have to trim the top on a wee little bit more, but I have it going down, tearing down onto this one, which is underneath it, and then I have this one, which I'm going to cut those out. That way it can, or maybe I'll actually have it more over here. Yeah, probably have it more over here. Yeah. Okay, I think I've got these trimmed down to a good height. This one I've got trimmed so it sits on top of that one, and that one goes under that one, and then that one goes under that one. And the water will lay down here, and here, and will be a hole in here that will go down into here, where the water will be pulled out of with the pump, which will have a tube that will hopefully, if everything goes correctly, push the water back out up here where it can go down, and then down here, and then have like a pool that goes underneath to where it disappears and goes down into the bucket to come back up. So I like creativity, and this is something, it's just fun and challenging, and something that's, pretty simple and inexpensive to do. Well, I came up with a solution for the rims, the edges, to keep the water in and then let it out at certain places, like a little waterfall sort of system. I've just trimmed off the tops of the buckets, which can be bent around an edge where I can glue that with permanent glue, and then bend it around there in order to keep the water in until it gets to a point where I have like a little spot where it will go over into the next one, which will have another rim top on it, which will have another cut where it can go down to the bottom, and so on. Update, I was thinking of, okay, if I have a pump down in here with water that pumps the water up to here, and there's a little like reservoir on top of here that collects the water, I don't want the tube that's pumping the water up here to be visible. So how do I get the water up to here with the tube without the tube showing? And I thought, okay. Then I thought, okay, what if I have a layer underneath of here where it's sealed off, which is what these are. I'm going to use those for. If a layer under here that's sealed off pretty much along this edge the whole way around, then it'll fill up in here, and when it fills up in here enough, it'll come out up here, which will fill this part too. So then it'll look like it's just coming out of the ground or out of this area right here. And you won't be able to see the tube or anything, which will make it a little bit more natural looking, which is what I'm going for. Okay, well, I came up with something actually even better than gluing all those lids in there and siliconing them all together. I looked, and I have this funnel that I bought at the dollar store, and I thought, well, actually that would be perfect, because if I cut this tab off it'll fit in there almost perfectly, and the tube could go up into there. I could put silicone around it so it would seal, and then it could fill up and come out the top, and you wouldn't be able to see the tube. That way, no gluing and all that with these things, and that would save, but let me see here, would that work? I didn't think about that. Well, I could make it work because I could just, yeah, well, there we go, that's better, okay. Now you don't have to look at my white bald head, and you can look at the crafts, which is the purpose of the video. Now these have come a long ways from where they were a couple of days ago, or a day or so ago when you saw them. Finally, I got the Gorilla Glue to set. I think I may have used too much. I think it may have been why I had issues with it setting. But I have these at 3 different tiers, and have the rims that will hold the water and the stones and stuff, and now I'm just using some hot glue to help seal the edges to make sure it's watertight, just for, just to be extra sure. And then I have some moss that is on a sheet, which is adhesive on the back, which I'm going to use to cover them with. And then after that, I have stones that I bought at Lowe's. Hello. And now you're looking at these 3 tiers with all the hot glue on. I'm pretty excited about this. Pretty happy about it. It's really cool, actually. This is sort of gonna be, it's gonna almost be like, this will be the front, sort of. And I want the pump to come up to, the pump will be down in here with the water, and the pump will come up through here, and there's going to be, I think I'm going to put a funnel in there and seal it off with the pump, then with the tube, but I want the water to come out of here, like just flow out. So I'm going to have the tube come up and have something here, a little section that's sealed off that the water can fill up in from the tube, from the pump, and once it fills up enough, it'll come out up here on its own, just rising up out. And then there's going to be stones in here, and then I'm going to have a little section here cut out that once it gets to a certain height, the water goes down over into this one, and then I'm going to have a little section cut out right here probably, and when it gets up to a certain level, then it'll flow down into this one, and then probably have 1 or 2 maybe cut out on this one, and then when it gets to a certain level, it'll flow out over this one, and the water will start laying down in here. And then I'm going to have like a little hole cut here, almost like a little cave, so that when the water gets to a certain point, it'll just roll back in there, go back down in, and start the process over again. But I didn't quite get everything finished. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out and everything. These are the 3 containers. This one has a spot in where there's a hole where there it is, the filter, or not the filter, but the pump can push the water up through, and then if everything goes like it should go down here over this little opening into that one fill up, and then go down over this little opening here into that one fill up, and there's a little opening then down here, which should go down into here, and then go back into here under this little tunnel that's there that you can't see because it's so dark. And then when it's in there, it goes and eventually just goes into the middle part right there in the center, where there's also a wire mesh to keep stones and everything else from going down. So, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I didn't quite get to finish it because I didn't have money to buy a pump, so that's basically all I need to finish it yet. So whenever I get money to buy a pump, I'll probably finish it and see if it works. I don't know if it'll work the way I think it will, but if anything, it's kind of cool looking. I'm happy with it, how it turned out. It's kind of just reminds me of something like some sort of a ancient site or artifact site or something. Just with how it turned out, it turned out pretty cool. But yeah, so I just wanted to give an update on that. Hopefully I'll get it pump here and get it working soon.